watching ADT. Look, a squirrel!
Hey everybody, thank you for joining us. You're watching ADTV at the Optimum Studios in Peekskill, New York. And let me tell you, what a week. Why do we have daylight savings? Why do we still have it? I did a little research because, you know what, I was on Facebook, of course, because you know I love Facebook, and everybody was posting stuff about that they like it, you know, they're going to get an extra hour sleep. That's only for one day. The extra hour is only for one day. It doesn't go on. And everybody's like, oh, it's better that way. But I don't agree. I think that it's worse. Listen, the only reason why daylight savings happened is because Benjamin Franklin wanted to save candles. Did you guys know that? It's not only about the farmers, but it was because Benjamin Franklin wanted to save candles. I mean, do we do that now? No. So I think we should, like, who do we talk to for daylight savings? Who's in charge in the government for daylight savings? That we could write a letter? President. The president? All right, so forget about that, right? Let's not bring up presidents or politics right now. It's the day before. We don't want to talk about it. I'm burnt out. I was on Facebook. All I'm hearing is Hillary and Trump and the whole 9 yards, and I just don't want to talk about it right now. But anyway, back to that. Daylight savings. Everybody would go back and say it's because of the farmers, but it's not. It's because of Benjamin Franklin. But anyway, enough of that rant. I have a great show today. I have some great friends here, some really fantastic talent, and I just can't wait to introduce them. Chris Victor's here with us today, and we have Joe Gawalis. Did I pronounce that right?
No, you did not.
I did it.
You got the G right, so that's good.
How do I say it again?
Gawalis.
Gawalis. And then we have Erik Wegner. Did I say it right?
That's right, in English.
All right, great. Awesome. So, welcome to ADTV.
Thank you for having us.
So how do you feel about daylight savings real quick?
I never sleep, so I'm a vampire and I don't really care about that.
Okay.
It works for the young kids, you know. I guess I'm not really too sure, but for me, it's just everyday occurrence.
Matter.
No.
Right. Okay. And Erik?
Well, I was thinking the other night, or last night, what do people do? What did people do? And I was alive in this time. I'm not going to say how old I am. Before computers and internet, right? So you have the daylight savings. Wouldn't it actually cause more of a negative effect on that work week?
Yeah.
So everyone's like, oh, I'm gaining the hour, right?
Yeah.
But if you don't have the internet and you didn't really talk to everyone that week and you forgot, your whole week is messed up, or at least
Totally.
for Monday.
Yeah. Well, I don't like the fact that it gets dark at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know, I like having that
The
daylight.
extra light, When you get out of work and you're not like,
Exactly.
nighttime.
And I'm not an early person, so I don't
Yeah.
care. So, you know, if the sun comes up, it doesn't matter to
You're just
me.
like, I'm still sleeping.
Yeah, I'm still sleeping. So, but anyway, Chris, I'm so excited to have you here.
So am I.
Yeah. So what's going on?
A lot. I don't know where to begin. I mean, first of all, I'm grateful to be here.
Yeah.
You know, I've been wanting to see you again since the last film festival that we're at.
Yeah.
And we got my mutual friend with you, Mauricio.
With Mauricio, yes.
Yeah. And then I have Joe Gawalis and Erik Wegner here, and these are guys who I've collaborated with on a lot of projects, and I'm excited to share this moment with you.
Yeah, you guys seem to have a lot of projects together where you're intertwined and you really work a lot together.
Yeah, you know what's amazing is when you start collaborating and you start going through I guess you can call it the ranks of the independent filmmaking world, you keep collaborating and meeting new people, and all of a sudden you start seeing people that really love the craft and the business, that have the integrity and the work ethic to move forward with, and you start to really form these strong teams, and you form this bond, and you continue to create together. And not only when you're not doing something together in a sense at the same exact time, you're always picking somebody else's mind. It's great to have those great minds starting to work together.
Oh,
and
definitely.
It's about the unity of the people you're working with.
I totally agree, because there's nothing better than to have a team on the same page with the same goal, because then the pace is quicker. You both have the same, you have a vision where you want to go, and you're going to get there when everybody's together on it, you know. Sometimes you have partners and it could be like a tug of war, but you guys seem to really, we got some great stuff here. Chris, you're an actor.
I'm an actor.
I loved you in Snitches, though. I have to tell you. Do you know that, literally, you invited Mauricio. Mauricio called me up. He's like, "You want to go see this movie, Snitches?" And I'm like, he's like, "My friends are in it." I'm like, "Okay, yeah." it was like really a great film. And you were awesome. Who did you play?
Thank you. I played Johnny Lombardo.
Uh-huh.
He was a mob guy. And a killer, but then became, within the film, a twisted, more psychotic killer. So it was an interesting arc for me.
Right.
And I had a candy bar, which a lot of people enjoyed. And that was interesting when the director, actually, Steve Rahaman, asked me about what do I think of Johnny. We were in the Hamptons with a candy bar in his mouth throughout the whole film. I had to justify that. So I said, let me get back to you. And then I did my research as an actor, you know, the craft, and had to justify why I have a candy bar. The funny thing is, you say actor, but I've been producing more than I've been acting lately, and that's one of the first films. Actually, that was the first film where I was a co-executive producer on.
Right, you were.
And it gave me this sort of, opened my eyes to what producing is, and it's more of natural, like a natural job for me.
You're right.
If
It
you
came
want to call, if
easy.
you want to call it a job, yeah, it just
No,
it
it's
just
something
comes
that
very
came
easy
easy.
for me. Where acting's a craft I always work on,
Right.
but producing is like breathing.
Well, it's like everybody has their niche, you know, and you probably felt really comfortable doing it. It's like a
Yes.
niche.
Yeah,
It's
very
very
happy.
cool. So we have, do we have a clip from Around the Corner or Around Every Corner? Chris, why don't you tell us a bit about that?
Well, Around Every Corner actually is Joe Gawalis' film.
Why am I on the
And-
wrong?
No.
Do I have it, Chris? Okay.
It's okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm co-producer, but I came on to Around Every Corner as a co-producer when I spoke to Joe, who we've worked with on other projects prior to that,
Right.
about a film is about drug addiction and alcoholism,
Okay.
and he had it out on Netflix and Amazon, and plenty of awards in the film festivals. But I said there's I think a niche that we missed here with regard to the drug and rehabilitation facilities, to bring this film where you can really not only reach people at home, but reach people that are in treatment centers, going through treatment. And what I liked so much about the film is it addresses the families, and how there's a dynamic in the family, and he expresses it very well, where him as the actor also, and the addicted one, has a brother, a sister, and an older brother, 2 brothers and a sister.
Okay, so that's his movie.
That's his movie, yes.
Okay, we're going to touch that hard because I have I think everybody can relate to that. Everybody has somebody in the family that has an addiction. Like I at least I know, everybody I know has somebody. And everybody's sick when you have an addict in the family.
You're absolutely right about that. I think this was such a different film than anything I've ever done before, because you're reaching the public in such a different way. We've never done a film where we've had people in treatment facilities come up to us after they viewed the film saying, we've changed their lives. We were in a festival in January last year. We actually had a former addict, or recovering addict, come from 2 hours to say that he saw the film in a clinic, and he said, you guys changed my life to have me go and reconnect with my family. This was such an amazing experience, where now Chris and I and the other producers, Tim Reeves, Enrique Williams, and we've been taking the film and really going to these clinics and speaking to recovering addicts and showing them that, look, the world is going to view you in a certain way. There is stigma around addiction. They're 100%. You can't, yes.
Huge stigma, because some people have been addicts all their life, and then finally, like, it doesn't happen overnight.
You're right, absolutely.
I personally am touched by it in every which way. Between if a sibling and former relationships, and it's a dark secret, because sometimes they can be functional alcoholics.
You're absolutely right about that.
And then it comes to a head, and then trying to get them to go to a facility or try to even acknowledge that they have a problem. So I have to see this. Do we have a clip or anything?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Thank you, Derek.
He's in the kitchen! Go, 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 go! He's going crazy.
John!
John? John!
John! John, you okay, John?
John! What do we do?
Look at me, John! John, look at me!
Remember that accident? Three years ago today, they died.
hell has he been the past 2 years, huh? He walks around and thinks his family screwed up his life.
So we haven't seen you in so long, John.
That shit destroyed this family.
It's important we stay together as a family.
Take your head off!
You need to take a hard look at yourself, John. Where you were, and where you are.
Move now!
Need to change.
You can't do it alone.
You'll never change!
When's the last time we were together like
I don't know, but it felt something like this.
No mom and dad this time.
Nice one, man, kid.
Powerful stuff. I like have an emotional. I just watching the teaser. I have like felt like emotions just running because a lot of the phrases that were used, I myself have said. You know, so I'm echoing. Okay, is that all right? What inspired this again? Not to be repetitive, but what inspired you to do
Well,
this?
you know, there's so many people you meet going on through life that have just slipped away from their opportunities and have maybe gone too far and lost their lives, and also as a wake-up call because the main character is a writer and people that are in the entertainment world about, you know, the pitfalls and showing people that's most importantly of you know, people, friends in the past that have, you know, become addicts and whatnot, to show that the most things that they don't have is their family. They're afraid to go back, you keep going down this downward slope. You always say, well, they're not going to want to see me again. And what we did was we took the sister and the two brothers, represents basically, you know, how most people view addiction as family members. One brother is an overbearing, you know, you're dead to me, you're done, you're not coming back.
Right.
The sister's almost an enabler if she's too kind, of, you know, you're always right, everything's okay, here's a little money here, we'll get you back on your feet. And there's another brother who just is just oblivious to the situation of saying, well, I don't see a problem here.
Denial.
And that's usually the way, you know, each family kind of has that, you know, almost like the threes, how people react to it. And it was just a time to tell that type of story. And we've been very proud to have reached out to so many different people. And we actually won a Drug-Free Hero Award through Drug-Free Americas, which is very powerful. We've been really reaching out. Oh, thank you very much. And you know, we owe so much to the fellow producers, Tim Reeves and Ricky Williams, Chris Victor, Michael Voigt, Emilio Vitolo, Gerard Cordero, Joran Urbas, the amazing actors that we've been working with, Vanessa Coppola, these fantastic people, Hector Soria, these amazing people we've been working with. I wrote it, yes, and directed it, and it was just an amazing piece to really, it's something different that when you make a film and you can go out and you can screen it or you can win an award, you can sell your film, but when you actually have somebody come up to you and embrace you and say, this film made me change my life, it's something that is just surreal and you can't replicate that.
I felt it just from the teaser.
Thank you.
So
Thanks.
I really commend you on that because you really took a lot, you saw a lot of the different facets in that short time where a lot of people can totally relate. So Joe, what's your title here? You're an actor, foremost, a writer?
I'm a filmmaker. I'm a director, creator, writer.
Hats. These guys have a lot of hats.
I don't know. I guess I'm also.
He's got his hat.
I would have so much respect for the craft of acting, and there's amazing people that have studied this craft for years. I'm a director, and I understand the communication between performers, and I'm blessed that at times I can perform as but I would never disrespect the craft of acting to say these people that study so much than to go out and say that these people really truly perform this craft. I'm just blessed that I can do it.
Well,
that's
fabulous.
filmmaker is what I would say.
Filmmaker,
I would be,
well,
yes.
Very good there. So, I mean, we're going to bounce around here. I was trying to have an order, but Let's see. The next thing we have is the runner of Pamela?
The run of Pamplona.
Pamplona. It's where the bull running is in Spain.
Eric.
It has nothing to do with Spain.
Has nothing to do with Spain.
Nothing except
Now,
for the fact of the lead
I have it
actress
under
being
Chris,
Spanish.
but is this
well-
another collaboration here?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's between
Okay.
me and Chris. Chris and I should say.
I like me and Chris.
Yeah, right. We're gonna change it. So I had the director of Snitches.
Yes.
Actually, direct that film. I produced it, wrote it. I have a small part in it. It was a cameo. It's a glorified cameo. It's in a reel and all that. But what's more important was the focus. This film is about an actress in the industry. And that struggle that people go through. And at her particular age, she's not young going into this. So she's been going through this for a long time.
Right.
And it's at that point where it's not working the way she thought it was, or thought it would. And it's starting to kind of weigh on her. And she's at that point of almost giving up.
Wow.
And so it's just that struggle, that one day struggle that she's going to go through. And it just moves. And Chris produced, but also played a part in it. And I think it's actually his most phenomenal acting job in anything.
Really?
Yes.
I can't wait to see this.
It should be it's in his reel, actually. It's in reel, a
Do
little
we
piece
have
of
a
it.
clip, guys?
Yes, we do.
Thank you. Looks really interesting.
So there's a full clip, I believe, on, or somewhat of a clip on his acting reel. You might show later.
Well, I saw him in the car.
Yeah, it's a really moving scene between the two of them. They play. They were in a relationship,
Right.
and her career sort of, became the focus,
Right.
and it kind of pushed them apart. And he's there to kind of help write her path, or be there for her in some way. And that's all I should say.
That's all. I love that storyline though. Everybody needs somebody to push them in the right direction.
Well, kind of have there, just to have there to know, to be, when the world is just falling apart around you, that one person's there, and the person you might not expect to have been there.
True.
To support you and kind of be there for you.
So, and is that film? Is it done?
It's finished, but it was not released.
It's not released.
It's not released yet.
Okay. You're going to keep us posted. So.
Yes, it's very close.
Very close.
That's going to be within the next few weeks. We're going to be doing something with it. Now keep everyone posted.
Okay. All right.
That's
We're going to
what
look
Chris-
forward. This way, we can let people. You know what the great thing is? Our audience, they love film festivals. I've gotten feedback that so, like, I can post stuff up and let them know so they can go see it.
So they can.
So, all right. So, Chris.
Yes.
All right. When did you start acting?
Wow.
And what inspired you to be an actor or to get into
You want
this?
the real story?
No, I want the fake story.
I'll give you a short,
Prepared speech.
So I
This is
want your
prepared
actor
speech.
story.
the shortest version of this real story I can possibly give you. I worked on Wall Street.
Did you really?
I left Wall Street in 1996. I went to school for massage therapy, personal training, and nutrition. Totally
Wow.
changed my career in a 180-degree change. My Wall Street peers.
Wait a minute, that's huge. Do you realize what you just said? You went from Wall Street to just
Yeah,
okay.
So it's a 180 change,
Yeah,
right?
why?
So my Wall Street peers who made money from me being there said, "I'm crazy. How are you going to make money as a massage therapist?" So I took that as me being crazy, and said I always wanted to act since I was 8 years old. I started taking acting classes in 1998. Until about 2003, I did some background work and what have you, and went to a lot of classes at different schools in the city. And then my grandparents had gotten sick, so between 2003 and 2012, I didn't really do much acting.
Right.
And then I've been
Family first.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
respect that.
It was just the way it was for me, and I had a massage personal training business. I was doing that, and then after my grandfather passed away in 2007, my grandmother in 2012, and then after that I had no more people to take care of except myself. and I started running with the acting, and then fell into the producing, and now I've been really busy.
Good for
And I'm
you.
extremely grateful for that and this journey, and
That's
as
a big-
hard as it was.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a big switch though, from going from Wall Street to the holistic end of it.
Yes.
I look
Which
at
was
it
a
as
saving
holistic,
grace.
healthy.
Both
Yes.
helping
Mentally.
people
Yes.
with massage and personal training and nutrition, and then acting was helping myself as a therapeutic.
release.
Yes.
Very cool. Very cool. No, that's an incredible story, because I mean, a lot of people do that. From what I noticed, they finally give in to go to actually do something they love. Did you love being on Wall Street?
Nope.
No.
I love technical analysis, but it wasn't used in the firms that I worked at.
Right.
So I could still trade my own stock from home because I know how about the breaks.
Right.
But there's a lot of manipulation in the market,
Oh yeah.
and that wasn't right for me, so I left.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Can we go to his reel? Let's see some of Chris's acting.
6, 7, 8. Good.
Take a left up here.
I know how to get there.
It's faster.
You see, there's no traffic on the street, Alba.
It's faster that way.
I drove you to the studio 1,000
Yeah,
times.
and last time you did, I was late.
My father was in the hospital.
And I lost my part in the show that day.
It wasn't because of being late, Alba. It was because when things get too tough, you give up too easily. But what people fail to realize is that there are no innocent people out there. We're all victims in one way or another, and it's not for you to judge which one comes before the next. I believe I do what I do for my own self-preservation.
Hey, Nicky, how you doing, man?
I had better mornings.
Oh, it's too bad. Have a cappuccino. I promise you it'll make you feel better. Tara, give my buddy Nicky a good cappuccino.
Sure thing, babe.
Go in the back. The boys are waiting for you. Tara, bring it to you.
Okay.
I'm gonna prove it to you guys that I could do this. I'm gonna take action in my life. I'm gonna do this for me for once. I need help, but I need to help myself because I'm not getting anywhere. I just keep going around in circles.
Of course. We killed them all. The Chinks, the Mix, all of them.
Good boy, Johnny. I'm proud of you. We need to talk about you getting your own neighborhood one day soon. Would you like that?
Of course.
Proud of you, Johnny.
Gotta go back to chopping up some limbs now?
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck all that. My first concern is to find that kid. Second, to make that scumbag pay. If I can only have one, I'm gonna find that kid and return him to their parents. You in or out? You can hear me. The sky is falling.
The only thing you can do is follow your path. This is mine.
Because I can't face the truth. So shoot me for thinking you were better than me.
And it just fucking drives me insane.
I'm the boss here. I'm the one who's in charge. When I say jump, you fucking jump.
By the way, buy some drinks with their money?
That's awesome. That was awesome. Oh my God, where do I start? Can I go back to chopping some limbs?
Yeah. That's what Johnny turned into.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is really, what a broad spectrum of characters too. Very cool.
Yeah.
Impressive. What was
Thank
your
you.
favorite part? Oh, all right. I'm sure every part you've had has a special place, but what's your favorite?
It's my favorite part is my next part. I mean, I like extremes. I've always been like that in my life. You know, you see the changes not only from Wall Street to that, but I've always been. They know me. I could be here today and in Florida tomorrow. It's like I don't even sleep in my own home a lot of times. I slept at my cousin's house last night because I was picking up him to get him to come here. Right. When we were filming The Fifth Borough in Staten Island, I saw my friend on Facebook 1 o'clock in the morning. I said, "You're home? You're up?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Can I sleep over? I'm filming back at it tomorrow." So I have a lot of friends, and I like experiences. And the more different they are from one day to the next, the more I feel alive and excited. I don't like to stay in. Like life is outdoors for me. Some people think their home. I don't think. For most people, their home is where they make the heart is and all that stuff.
Sure.
To me, it's outdoors, and in different people's homes.
That works.
So same with my characters. Like what I've done, something opposite from what I did last, and to try anything new is always like exciting for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool
It's
because
honest,
you're like so open to so many different aspects of whoever you hang out with and however you live your life affects who you are. It's just that's the way it is, you know. But that I just loved all your characters, especially towards the end. I even saw you worked with Nancy Castro. I love her.
Nancy's
I love
awesome.
Nancy.
She's
a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, so Erik. We have Eric's reel too, right? I can't wait to see this too.
It's a mini. It's a short film.
It's a short
film. No, but
film.
you guys cut it down.
Can we go to that?
The trilogy.
This is like a treat.
Okay, we'll get through it. We'll get through it. Hey, come here. No more running, okay? No more hiding. No. Back soon, okay? I promise. Wait. I'll be back. I love her, okay? I love her. I'm gonna run away with her, and you can't stop me.
If you leave, don't come back here asking your father to help you again.
My father's dead. What do you care about, huh? What do you care about? These girls, huh? What do you care about, huh? Money? What? Do you feel anything? Anything? Anything?
Hey. South.
I must have crashed and I didn't realize it.
It's fine, it was nice. I have some time until I have to go to work. Sophie, I'll make some tea, okay?
Yeah, I don't really like tea.
You don't like tea? I have so many kinds of tea. I have green tea, Earl Grey, Chinese tea, chai, ginger, rooibos.
You know, I have to get going anyway. I have the rehearsal across town. So I don't want to be. You're an actress, you know. It was good. We should do it again sometime. Thanks. I love you. You're so beautiful. What's that for?
Oh, Anne, you're so beautiful. I love you so much.
I didn't say so much. I've never said, "Oh, I love you so much" in my entire life. All right.
Okay, tough guy. I see how it is. Okay.
You know, I can't be held accountable for the things I say in the morning. I'm like a drunk guy. Come on. Are you fucking kidding me right now? Huh? You think I have time for this? You know, I dealt with enough shit from you too.
Like what?
Like the fact that I keep giving you leeway on the bills, right? And the fact that I'm stupid enough to keep doing it.
What is that supposed to mean?
Where's the rent money?
Excuse me?
Where is the fucking rent money? You keep wasting money on shit like groceries, unimportant shit. We have more important bills to pay right now.
So am I supposed to check in with you before I buy anything?
What don't you get about us living in a complete shithole right now? Huh? What don't you get about
Eric, you're quite the lover.
it? None of that was on purpose.
You're an actress. I think that should be the line of the century. That was great.
But yeah, some of that was cut short due to the lengthy short film that my reel is. But yeah, these actors that I worked with, and these are all different capacities. I mean, for each film, Runner of Pamplona, which was the second clip. The first clip was the director of Snitches. Also,
Right.
the second was another film of his, but the one that I produced.
Right.
I worked as a writer on both. So he brought me in for Snitches.
I can't keep
and
track
then-
of you guys.
I know, it's crazy.
I swear, it's insane.
Well, it started with, I would say it started with Snitches.
Right.
That's where it started for me and Chris.
Okay.
And Joe was almost in his own world for a long time, doing his thing and all this, and we met him and we kind of just, started working on stuff together, and that's where it got confusing. Right. That's where everyone got lost, because then now we're trying to find the trail of, okay. But for Chris and I believe that the Snitches was the first kind of, the meeting point, and, was writing on this, Steve wrote it, but he asked me to write a little bit.
Sure.
And then from there I just, I've always done my own thing.
Eric, are you the actor first or the writer first?
That's a complex question. But no, I started acting when I was a kid.
Okay.
And I was in the Hamptons. I was living in the Hamptons, and I did a lot with it, to make the short story short. And then as I got older, I went to film school, and I went out west, and I decided to make this content as an actor, as a means to create work to act in.
Sure.
And then that kind of took over because people saw that as, oh, you're good at this. And I'm going, okay. And my heart was always in acting first, and always is. And so then when I got back from the West Coast, and I'm back in New York, I started working with Steve on Snitches, and and then Runner came about, and then I wrote it, and he said, "Oh, I'd love to direct this," and that's where I met Chris, and that's where I met you, I met you a little before, but I met him, and then I knew he produced it, and then he came on a Runner, and he was producing with, I think, a location just at first. I said,
First.
yeah, that was at first, and then I said, Chris, what are you doing? You're doing more than just that.
Right.
I mean, he's doing way more, and then he sort of evolved into this producer that's just amazed me.
You guys have really grown together.
Right.
There's like three amigos here.
Yeah.
It's really interesting if you don't mind me telling a story, because when we met with Snitches and we started talking, we haven't stopped since. This is over 2 years now. And then I remember I met Joe with Joe D'Onofrio in the city once, and we started talking, right?
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, Joe introduced us.
Yeah, we just talked a lot that night, and then I remember saying to him that you would like this guy, and then we met on the roof of 235th.
Yeah,
was it?
yeah.
When the film
And then they met, and they didn't stop talking.
Well, the
and it's just
chemistry
the
is huge. You
chemistry
can
is
tell,
like, yeah.
I could totally, I feel the vibe totally.
Oh, me and Joe were going. I remember that.
You made a good
Everybody was
time.
kind of, had
Yeah,
like
we
a
just kept
circle
talking.
around us,
Yeah.
and we were waving our arms, going, "Oh, this film!" We get all heated. Everyone's looking at us like, "This is like a place where people
angry.
are relaxing and kind of
They were.
drinking, and
Yeah.
just kind of, it's a nice lounge on the rooftop overlooking the city." Me and Joe were like, "No, would you film and you do this?"
passion,
And
man.
we
It's
started
the
getting so into
passion.
it that
I
it was
love
just
that.
like
The,
really.
the film's pretty quick, which was good.
Yeah.
It was exciting. So absolutely.
What about Neverland?
Neverland.
We have,
That was-
we have a trailer.
Yes, that was right after Runner, the Runner of Pamplona. Originally I was going to act, and then Steve was going to direct again, and then I wound up taking over as director because he went on to do something more professional that I can't talk about.
Okay.
He will, I'm sure he will at some point when. Anyway, so I wound up taking over as director. I mean, I've directed before in out west, and so I cast Joe as one of the leads from seeing his working around every corner. So that's where that came from. I saw that work, and I was like, he did an amazing job on that.
Sure.
And it was there's some similarities, but not with the drug use or anything like that. Neverland is a story about a girl who, growing up, had one of the hardest lives, imaginable. Mm-hmm. And to deal with it, she created created a world of her own, but almost lived within a safe world to get through it.
To cope.
Yeah, to cope with it and all this, just to get through all the hardship with life. And it's just, in her mind, it's this fantastical world. This world that's, it's a dream. And she's hit with the reality at an older age too, and she's hit with that reality, having to force to face it.
That's pretty deep though, because I know some people who actually live like that. You know, it's not far from the truth.
It's within a short period of time she has to just confront that reality and deal with it, whether it be with relationships, her job, or her family. Which I'll keep it at that because that's kind of. But so she's confronted with that. So there's this balance between that reality and that dream life that she kind of created for herself.
Let's look into Neverland. Okay, let's ask Joe how it feels to kiss underwater.
It was fun if we weren't underwater for 6 hours.
Yeah.
You know, but it was amazing because Erik was very detailed about the shots, and it was an amazing scene, as you could see. It was incredibly cinematic, and working with Lauren was fantastic, and Erik as a director and Chris producing. It was really worth the time, and it's actually more complicated than you think because you're in full clothing, and as you're underwater, as she's dropping down, and you're trying to do what you're doing, you have the water going up your pants, and now you're getting spun upside down. So it's a lot more logistically complicated than it looks.
Floating up the entire time to keep them down.
You guys had like a ballet. It was really done really eloquently because you didn't see any struggle with the water on your facial expressions. So that was really, that takes a lot of control.
That's good editing right there.
It's the illusion of filmmaking.
That's it,
We had to drop her in, I dropped her from the top into the water, and then every time she came out, we had to fix her dress, and his eyes, the burning from the soul, and it was cold out that night.
Yeah, your take 1, take 2, take 3 was not easy.
3 hours straight.
Wow.
Literally 3 hours straight. Up and down, up and down, up and down. It's almost like Chinese water torture or something. You know, that's what it became almost. And the two of them, Lauren and Joe, were just amazing.
And it didn't end there. We still went to another location. We shot till 5 in the morning that day. That water location.
That was in the 6 in the morning, technically.
Yeah.
That was the 6 in the morning. We had more to shoot after that, but it was amazing what Joe went through, and only afterwards do you really see how much that he gave to it.
Sure.
You know,
both
of them.
The
of course.
experience
Lauren
so
almost,
enriching. Well, it looks fantastic. So where's this now?
This is in final editing stage.
All right.
This is going to go right along with Runner or right after Runner. It's going to be boom, boom, just like that. So they're going to hit
you guys
really
are
close.
Going to be like.
A lot's going to hit at once. Yeah. That's what it's going to be.
That's
just
awesome.
Like out of nowhere.
That's like the greatest feeling when you're done with a project and then it's going to be released or whichever routes you take on this. But it's nothing better than that accomplishment feeling.
Well, there's almost, for mine, I don't want to take it, but for mine, there's this package kind of similarity with focus. This is female-centric characters, so I'm kind of throwing it together like that. But Joe's doing things very differently with your stuff and the way you're doing it. And that's why I'm hitting with that. But
you know what, Joe? Okay. Should we start with your reel, or let's start with you?
Okay.
So what are you again now? Actor, writer, filmmaker?
Well, I would say I'm a filmmaker.
And
again, when I was, I've wanted this lifestyle, this business, this craft my entire life. I was making projects in high school, in film class, and in.
What inspired you? You like your whole life.
I loved it. I loved cinema. It's very interesting. I think this gets very boring very quickly. Not the talk show, but I think people's just basic dialogue. You
Not
escape
the talk show.
No, not this. But I mean, you know, the normal just, oh, how's your day? How's this?
No,
How's that?
right.
It's very boring.
Yes.
But I saw in cinema, everything's very interested. And I don't care if you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're somebody who's working in sanitation, you can be a fisher, whatever you're doing, everybody gravitates to cinema or television. It's these amazing characters that tell these stories and represents pieces of our heart and our soul and things we may have left behind or things we want in the future and wish.
It's so true. I like the way you're putting that because there's a responsibility for filmmakers, I believe.
There is, and you can tell these amazing stories. So at a young age, we had classes in high school, and I made this joke video, and it was a hit with the class. And I said, wow, you get a real reaction, and these people really can gravitate towards these fun videos. And then I went to film school, and I studied film in college. And then from there, I would work for different networks and move out on my career. And then I started, writing and directing my own pieces and winning short film awards. And then, I was like, did Around Every Corner, and that's for sale now. And then I just finished my biggest feature film as a director called The Breaking Point with Will DeMeo and Joe D'Onofrio and James Fallauter, and that was an amazing film that's going to be hitting the festival circuits in 2017. So this went on and on and on, but from when I was like a 15-year-old kid, and even before that, writing stories and creating characters, I think it always has a hope towards life, and you can really hit so many avenues when you create cinema and create characters.
Well said.
Very interesting.
Well said. And you have a reel also.
Yes, my actor's reel. So I can't show my director's reel yet because it has Around Every Corner and other short films that I've done, but Around Every Corner is a feature, but The Breaking Point's not out yet. So you have to see that in one of the big festivals coming up. You can see my actor's reel now if you're so inclined.
Can we go to that? Oh, yes. Well, I've had glimpse.
Oh, come on, Drax, please. I can shoot me.
You know, there's nobody back here to help you, Johnny. Nobody hear your screams. Life's funny, ain't it, kid? And this time, let's make it an even 5.
Oh, 5 grand? What the fuck, Drax? Ah, fuck!
Why won't you listen to me? And for the past few months, she's been hounding her husband about finding a more desirable neighborhood to live in.
Why are you ignoring me?
Honey, I'm not ignoring you. I'm trying to sleep.
What's this?
The money that I owe you. It's money that I stole from you. I'm sorry. My book, if it comes out, take the money and use it for the family any way you see fit. Okay?
We can fix this.
It doesn't matter now. All that's left is a face to Piper. Bye, Jimmy.
How many did you get, Otis?
15 dead, 35 wounded.
And all in one mall.
We have after everybody fucked with me every chance they get. I warned every one of you that I was armed. Very, very well armed.
Here I am.
Wow, that's really awesome, reel.
Oh, thank you very much.
And the
that.
part that you play in Around the Corner?
Around Every Corner, yes.
How can I see that? Can you tell us?
Yes, you can actually, it's available right now. You can actually, if you are a subscriber to Amazon Prime, it's free.
I swear by Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime is streaming right now, so you can see it on there. It's also available on Amazon Instant Video. It's available on Vudu, which is a Walmart streaming service, iTunes, Real House, and Vimeo On Demand. Also Amazon DVD. Awesome. So there's a lot of different outlets you can see it on. We're going to be distributed on a few more outlets in the future. Very, very excited about it. It was a pleasure working on that film. It always has a special spot because of how we are reaching out to the community you know, and it's just, you know, reaching out to people like that and having people come up to me and saying, you know, your performance really.
Your performance was, I mean, like just from watching this, I felt like, seriously, I'm not just saying it just because we're on the show, very powerful.
Well, you know, I worked with, you know, I have to give all the credit to guys like Michael Voy, Vanessa Koppel, Emilio Vitolo, Gerard Cordero, Joran Urbas, you know, so many amazing actors.
I
You
can't
work with
wait
these
till you win
guys.
the Academy Award because you're gonna,
you know.
you're the guy that they're gonna say commercial. Commercial.
These people.
Think this guy. I love it.
Really,
though, but you got it down pat.
You work with these guys; they're amazing. And so, if you're bouncing with Brian Boone, also, he plays the publicist, and these guys, you work with them, and it's just a give and take. And you're only as good as the people you're with, and without being able to bounce with them, you can't do it by yourself. And as an actor, you're only as good as a person that's feeding you a line or feeding you an emotion. And without any of that coming, I mean, there's nothing. There was a scene in there with Michael and I going back and forth, and just tears in my eyes. Without Michael coming at me like that, I would just be sitting there looking at nothing.
No,
so
it's
there's
true.
so much credit that I should give to Michael Voy for scenes like that. And
No, it's
you know,
true.
it's all about the
Give and
people
take.
you're working
Yeah.
with, and without that, it's nothing. I mean, there's only a sense that you can go so far as a performer without somebody there. And I think that's, you know, that's just so much owed to everybody that I'm working with. Very thankful.
Who's your favorite actor? I have to. ask this
My
question.
favorite actor, I would say, is I thought John Cazale was amazing. You know, who played Fredo in The Godfather, Dog Day Afternoon, and he was such a subtle actor who gave so much. And what he did was what was amazing was he made every scene that much better. You know, you see him in The Godfather 2 with Al Pacino when he's in that scene when he's sinking in a chair, you know, and he's, you know, when Fredo gives those iconic lines, you know, and what about my time, and you know, he just wanted his piece. And in Dog Day Afternoon when he walks into that bank and you just see him with, you know, how he looks, and it's very freakish, you know, with how his hair's, you know, long, and it's just, he gives so much. When he yells, and everything he does just brings and elevates everybody around him. I think that's a really good actor. Is, you know, I'm a filmmaker, so when I have the opportunity to act, I enjoy doing character pieces much more than playing something that I say, oh, you maybe just play a guy who's speaking. I'd rather do something that elevates other performers as an actor when I'm performing, because there's so much more, I feel. And there's other amazing performers that can just showcase the scene, that have that it factor to lead, you know. And I think those performers that can just elevate everything and bring a scene to another level, that's where it is. That's the bread and
I'm so glad
butter.
you're in the industry. You're like
yeah.
a breath of fresh air. All three of you. Just a breath of fresh air, because it's just the passion is like, it's incredible. It
I
really
appreciate
is.
that. Thank you.
It's
And
cool.
amazing people that I'm working with. So, you know,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So, so talk about Eden.
That's Eric's project, which is very good, by the way.
Okay.
So,
Why do I have it on the
Joe can
show?
talk about it. Joe is better at
it's good.
Joe is great at making things so eloquent. That,
Did I get everything?
Yeah.
Really, it says Joe on my paper.
Eden is something I've been working on since, I would say, maybe even before I started acting or learning to act. It's maybe 94, 93, in my whole life. Basically, my whole adult life, or I wouldn't say adult life, but my whole life as anything in the arts. Put it simply, it's a story, a large story, but contained within very personal situations, about different characters going through this search for a place they consider to be some form of home, whether it be a person and some longing for losing that in the past, and their struggle in that. And there's larger plot elements, and I'm being very vague on purpose, but there's larger plot elements of society and the social disparity between rich and poor, and there's a lot more of that. It's a show to the scale of something like Lost, let's say.
Okay.
It's based on that model of almost like watching a film, this extended film that goes on
Eden,
for
though,
seasons.
the title is pretty.
Many meanings.
Yes.
Many meanings. That is the
that
one I
can-
can tell you.
Yeah.
Is the one that it involves this personal journey for these characters to find some kind of sense of home and some kind of comfort in their lives, but they have to get through their past.
You bought
to
us
get there.
a trailer?
Yes.
Can we go to the trailer? Let me see this. Eden.
I want to make it abundantly clear. We are not losing control of the stability of this city. They're all dead. The oil, food, and medical shortage is only temporary. And I would never employ the use of some outside security team to police the people of this great city. When I was elected mayor,
The fight.
we made a promise that we would find a solution to this energy crisis. And we will.
Eden is the way home.
So this project, where is it? It looks interesting from the
We're in
trailer.
the beginning stages of development. This is more of a teaser trailer.
Teaser
Because
trailer, yeah.
it's for television, so Chris is and Joe, hopefully as well, will be there, if he'll have us. You know, I trust Joe completely with his sensibilities. But yeah, so this is this, and I have another film in development where I'm in the final script stages. That's
Right.
also female centric.
Oh,
It's going back to
very
that
nice.
fisherman's a tale about in a small fisherman's town in actually Sag Harbor, where I grew up, and it's called The White Goddess of the Sea. And that's I'll go back to you guys for what's coming up.
So
that you
yeah,
can- yeah.
what's going on? What's up and coming?
We
new?
have the Breaking Point, a film
Yes.
that I directed and produced with Chris, and Chris is the head producer with myself on there. It's an amazing. We're very, very proud of this project.
Yes.
We just finished post-production on it, and we're working with William DeMeo, Joseph D'Onofrio, James Filater, Tony Farrow, Michelle Francescos,
Yes.
Oriana D'Agostino, an amazing cast that's in there. And the film, we're very, very proud of the work we did. We have an amazing sound designer out in San Diego, Stephen Aram, who worked with us. Mark Moritz, who did an amazing coloring job for us, is also an associate producer on there. The film, it's a really great psychological thriller about a middle-aged man who it's a knock of the American dream gone wrong. You're a Boy Scout. You did everything you're right in your life for 52 years, and life just kept coming at you and coming at you and coming at you, and eventually just everything that you were told if you do it this way, it will be okay.
And you wrote this.
I wrote this, yes, and directed it, and the film just finished post-production, so we submitted to 17 festivals so far. We're going to do probably 40 or some odd
I'm
submissions.
going to see it.
Yeah, oh, thank you. And we're very, very proud of this
I'm
work. It'll
going
be
to see
premiering in 2017 at hopefully one nice festival out there. But we're very, very proud of this work, working with guys like William DeMeo, who's a phenomenal actor. Joseph
yes.
D'Onofrio is a phenomenal
Yes.
actor also, and these guys have done so many amazing projects.
Yes.
And to work with guys of their caliber has been amazing, right? I mean, the experience.
Sure.
You want to talk about
yeah,
it?
even my experience. I mean, my reel started off with back in the day. William DeMeo wrote, and Paul Borghese directed that film. But we have William DeMeo here, and there's another project. See, now William saw us on the Breaking Point the way it was Joe and I, but we had Eric on set, and he loved the chemistry that we have together, and he asked me if they would want to sit down with him, and we had a meeting, and we have an untitled project that we'll be working with him, for him, and I'm just excited because that's yet another project that's going to be a big one, and it's really the thing that got me is that he asked me because he liked the way we worked together, and I knew the way we worked together. It's like, okay, it's not just me feeling this,
Right.
Okay,
It's
other
like
people
you guys
are
are
seeing
like vibing
Yeah.
this chemistry.
So it's just
It's incredible.
confirmation that I'm doing the right thing. And I know I'm with the right people. And my purpose in life is now, I'm so convinced of what it is that there's no turning back. I'm like a horse
gives me
with
goosebumps.
blinders. I'm not, it's do or die.
No.
I may with no sleep, but I can't even sleep. I wake up with ideas, and I got to talk to them regularly because I feel like I'm going to forget something.
Right.
And that
it's
passion
like, I
that
could
they both
sense
share
the
with me.
excitement, though.
Yeah.
It's like urgency, And when you have a sense of urgency, that comes onto you naturally, not like I have to pay my bill kind of urgency. Something that you're feeling intuitionally, like, is that a word? Intuitively inside you that motivates you and pushes you forward. That's success to me.
We talked about this outside when we were coming in a little bit. Is that what's interesting is that when you get involved with this craft and this business, people say like, well, there's so much to look forward to, or are you nervous about your future? I mean, we're living such a unique and amazing lifestyle. I mean, this is the journey. We're living it.
But you're in the present
exactly
moment.
this
You're
present.
not in the past. You're not thinking of
Fantastic.
tomorrow. You're just working the day.
Who can say they're doing this and making incredible films and having films that you can view places and are affecting people? This is an amazing life. This gift, this industry, this business is something that's fantastic. And and utilize it. Don't people are so become so jaded, or they just want something so bad they'll do anything. No, I mean, this it's a journey doing it with amazing friends. I mean, even the car ride up here, the three of us in the car discussing future projects, past projects, things we want to do together, and that's what it's all about. Being able to do that, and that's enjoy the journey. That's what I would say to anybody doing it, right? I mean, otherwise, why even start it in the first place?
Well,
The journey is the destination.
The journey.
We've arrived.
That's right. You
know?
you guys have. I'm glad you came here. You arrived here. That was perfect. See, now like everybody out there could meet the new generation of filmmakers. That's what I love, and I love that I'm part of it. And you guys are motivating. I really enjoyed this time together. I know everybody out there is seeing and hearing stuff behind the scenes that they normally wouldn't, because entertainment is not just what you see on TV. It's the behind the scenes that really bring it to life. So I thank you guys for joining us here on ADTV.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
And we're gonna, I guess we're gonna say goodnight. So can you guys do me the favor and tell them what they're watching? Okay.
AGTV.
You're watching ADTV. Good night, everybody.